Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mount & Blade Bannerlord, specifically the Eagle Rising mod, and we're going to be going over the 10 best male spouses in the game as far as their trading rank goes. So these are going to be the husbands that are available at the beginning of the game and how good of a trader they are. So if they're going to lead a trade caravan for you, this list will show you which one is the best to go with, or it'll show you specifically the top 10. So let's just dive on in. And starting it off, the way to find anyone in the game is to go to your encyclopedia, and on PC you do that by pressing the N key. Then from there you click heroes and you can sort it down. So we're going to want male, alive, lord or lady, and not married. Then we're going to go to culture to narrow it down, and so our first one is going to be of the Saka culture, and that person is BORTU of the URKHUNAIT. And so he takes the number 10 spot, and he starts the game as young as possible at the age of 18 with a trade skill of 82, charm of 160, steward of 100, tactics of 120, leadership of 120, with his highest combat skills being 150, and he has those in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. And of course the rest of his combat skills are not too far behind. So like I said, he is part of the URKHUNAIT clan, which is the ruling clan for the Saka, his father being Manchug. He starts off with pretty dang good armor, at least as far as a Saka person is concerned. It's not the best armor in the game, but it does offer pretty dang good protection. He also starts off with a pretty nice bow if you're looking to steal a good bow, and he has 3 traits starting off. The first one being cautious, which is valor -1, the second one being merciful, which is mercy 1, and then we have calculating, so calculating 1. Honestly, BORTU makes a really good spouse, and he just takes this low-ish ranking because the rest of the people on this list all have better skills than him for being a trader. But outside of that, he is a great spouse, and if you're looking for a Saka spouse, he's an option. So that's number 10. Let's move on to number 9. At number 9, we have an Imperial spouse, VINCANTIOS of the SERVILII, and he is 24 at the beginning of the game with a trade skill of 82, charm of 60, steward of 102, tactics of 120, leadership of 120, and his highest combat skills, which he has 3 of, are level 210, and those are polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. He starts off the game with really good armor, so definitely something worth stealing if you're looking to, kife some good high-level armor off your spouse. Otherwise, it'll just protect him really well. And he has 3 traits starting off, which are close-fisted, so generosity -1, daring, which is valor 1, and impulsive, which is calculating -1. VINCANTIOS is a pretty solid option if you're looking for an Imperial spouse, and he takes the number 9 spot. At number 8, we've got another Saka spouse. This time it's ESUR of the KHERGIT, and he starts the game nice and young at age 22 with a trade skill of 82, charm of 100, steward of 101, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and a high combat skill of level 210, and he has that in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. And of course, being a Khuzait, it should not be shocking that he also has a nice high riding and bow skill. He is part of the KHERGIT clan, so his mother is Mezui, and it makes it one of my favorite clans to marry into in the Saka faction. He starts with 2 traits, generous, which is generosity 1, and daring, which is valor 1. So nothing bad about him, no negative traits, no super low skills, he's nice and young, lots of good stuff about ESUR, and that's why he takes the number 8 spot. At number 7, we have a Dryadic spouse, being ERDURAND of the BURII, so the BURII clan being the leading clan of the Dryadic faction. He is in that family. He is 27 at the beginning of the game, so a little bit older, but he starts with a trade skill of 82, charm of 60, steward of 101, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and his highest combat skill, which he has 3 at this level, is level 210, and he has that in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. ERDURAND, being obviously a member of a high-level clan, starts off the game with nice high-level, good protection Dryadic armor, good weapons, and of course 3 traits to talk about: daring, which is valor 1, cruel, which is mercy -1, and impulsive, which is calculating -1. Honestly, really solid spouse, should be expected as a member of the ruling clan of the Dryadic faction, but ERDURAND is really good, and that's why he takes the number 7 spot. At number 6, we have TEMION of the CLAUDI, and he is another Imperial spouse, this time from the Southern Imperium. He starts the game pretty young at age 25 with a trade skill of 100, charm of 180, steward of 122, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and his highest combat skill is level 170, and he has that in the polearm. He is nice and young and starts off with really good armor and weapons, so again, good stuff to steal or let him keep, depending on how generous you want to be. And he starts off with 3 positive traits and 1 negative trait. He has generous, which is generosity 1, devious, which is honor -1, daring, which is valor 1, and calculating, which is calculating 1. TEMION makes a really solid spouse. I've married him in the game before and had excellent results, but he takes the number 6 spot. Let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we've got another Imperial spouse. This time it's ACHIOS of the the MENENII, a vassal of the Western Imperium. He starts the game at age 25 with a trade skill of 101, charm of 140, steward of 120, tactics of 160, leadership of 160, and his highest skill is level 180 in combat, and that is in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed, so once again spread across the 3 melee areas. Like most of your high-level Imperial spouses, he starts off with nice high-level, good protection armor, and also looks quite nice, and good weapons. And he has 2 traits starting off, which are generous, which is generosity 1, and cruel, which is mercy -1. All in all, a really solid option, nothing bad to say. I mean, maybe if you don't want a cruel spouse, then ACHIOS might not be for you. He's also rather short and shrimpy, but he does fight rather well for all of that. So ACHIOS takes the number 5 spot. Let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we've got a Dryadic spouse. This time it's ALARY of the BURII, so another member of the ruling clan of Dryatia. This one being right around the same age as the other one we talked about so far. He does start the game at age 26 with a trade skill of 102, charm of 80, steward of 120, tactics of 100, leadership of 100, and his highest combat skills being rather high at level 210, and that is once again in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. So a little predictable there, but of course 210 is a really high combat level. He starts off with really good high-level Dryadic armor. I think it also looks quite nice. That's a good thing to say about it. And he has good weapons starting on. On top of that, he has 3 traits to talk about: close-fisted, which is generosity -1, cruel, which is mercy -1, and calculating, which is calculating 1. So I find that he makes an especially good trader. He's very good at it, and that's why he takes the number 4 spot, as well as being, you know, pretty good at almost everything else. So that's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we've got our first member of the Kitsith Republic and the Kanak-Nahasi culture on this list. We've got MEYIR of the AZARETH DAYON, and he starts the game rather young at age 21 with a trade skill of 102, charm of 100, steward of 120, tactics of 120, leadership of 120, and his highest combat skill being at level 190, and that's in the polearm. He also starts out with the generous, which is generosity 1 trait, honest, which is honor 1, and cruel, which is mercy -1. And on top of all of that, he's got really cool armor, as many of the Kanak-Nahasi lords do, because it's got that cool, unique sort of Greek, Thracian type of look to it that I quite like. So MEYIR is definitely a solid option, which explains his level 3 or number 3 ranking on this list, but that is the spot he takes, so let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we've got our last Imperial spouse for this list, ARION of the JUNII, and so he's a member of the Northern Imperium. Like I said, the JUNII clan, his father being Arcor. He starts the game rather young at age 19 with a trade skill of 102, charm of 100, steward of 120, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and his highest combat skill being level 150, which he has in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. On the bright side, he starts off with really nice high-level armor and weapons, so excellent protection there, / value for you if you're just looking for someone to rob their armor from. The downsides are he starts with a bowl cut, and he's rather short. And on top of that, we've got 3 traits to talk about. The first one being close-fisted, so generosity -1, second being honest, so honor 1, and the third being cruel, so mercy -1. 2 negative traits, not really what you're looking for in a husband, or at least not what most people are looking for, but honestly, he pulls it off pretty well and makes a really good spouse, especially for leading a trade caravan. So that's number 2. Let's move on to the final one at number 1. At number 1, we've got our favorite Battanian spouse, SIARAMUS of the SEGUSINI, and like I said, he is Battanian and starts off the game at age 24 with a trade skill of 122, so the highest available trade skill for any male spouse in the game, a charm skill of 120, steward of 142, which is also the highest for anyone available in the game, tactics of 140, leadership of 140, and his highest combat skills are level 210, and he has those in polearm, one-handed, and two-handed. So obviously a super good spouse for a lot of reasons, but specifically for this list, he's especially good at leading a trade caravan. He's also great at being a warrior and a governor, so, you know, do with that what you will. On top of that, he only has 1 trait, and it's calculating, which is a positive trait. So there's nothing bad to say about him. He even starts off with pretty high-level Battanian armor, and, you know, doesn't look that ugly. Plus, he's not a short little shrimpy guy. So, SIARAMUS takes the number 1 spot, and that is all 10 of our top 10 best trader male spouses in this game. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, but that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.